The sun just dipped below the horizon as you climb the hill to the summit of the tea plantation. The structure at the top looks deserted as your party scans the area for any sign of the beast you were sent to vanquish. Nothing except a strange, almost inaudible flute sound. You dismiss it as the wind upon the leaves. As you edge closer to the spectacular structure, you marvel at its exquisite craftsmanship. They truly don't make them like they used to. That's when you hear the first crack as if a dead branch had been cleaved in two. Then the flutes you attributed to leaves begin to ramp up into an orchestra. Still, you approach the building as every cell in your body cries out, "Run!" And you hear the name whispered within the barrage of chaotic flute sounds. Shoggoth. Today on Oak Soup, we will take a quick dip into the epic ecology of these enormous freaking giants H.P. Lovecraft created. A central figure in the genre of cosmic horror and bathroom horror and the occasional screwed up daydream. They first appeared in Lovecraft's novella At the Mountains of Madness, published in 1936. Shoggoths are iconic and terrifying beings within the Lovecraftian mythos, and they have been featured in works by other authors who have expanded upon Lovecraft's universe. Shoggoths are amorphous and protean, and shape-shifting entities that lack a fixed form. They are described as being composed of protoplasmic substance that can change its shape and appearance at will. This inherent malleability allows them to mimic the forms of other creatures or objects, which can knock the crap out of a good mushroom trip. In Lovecraft's lore, Shoggoths were originally created by an ancient extraterrestrial race known as the Elder Things, also called the Old Ones or the Elder Ones, not to be confused with the ancient relics that sit in the halls of Congress and the Senate, but I digress. The Elder Things created Shoggoths as a form of bioengineered labor. Sounds familiar. But these creations eventually rebelled against their masters. Also sounds familiar and not a bad idea. Shoggoths possess a collective or hive mind intelligence. When they come together, they can form a massive protoplasmic horror, making them a formidable and highly adaptable threat. Shoggoths are one of the most terrifying and alien entities in Lovecraft's works. Their grotesque, ever-changing forms and the eerie, unknowing nature of their minds make them symbols of cosmic horror. I'd say a ring above the ones that Sigourney wrestled with. Encounters with a Shoggoth, like a Yoko Ono song, typically leads to madness and death for those who witness them. Shoggoths play a significant role in At the Mountains of Madness, where they are discovered in the subterranean depths of Antarctica by an ill-fated scientific expedition. The discovery of these creatures has dire consequences for the explorers and not just Buzz Aldrin. Now, in D&D, they're described as an intelligent, gelatinous bulb that can reshape itself at will. Created by the Elder Race as servants, the Shoggoths rebelled long ago and slew their masters without pity. Since that time, they've lived in isolated and desolate regions, devouring whatever they encounter and absorbing its flesh into their own amorphous, shifting forms. And they have constant growth. When in spherical form, the Shoggoth's mass is enough to have a 10 to 15 foot diameter, though this is just an average size. Shoggoths continue growing throughout their lives, though the eldest among them grow very slowly indeed, and some Shoggoths may shrink from starvation if they deplete a territory of resources. They have a mutable form. A Shoggoth can form eyes, mouths, tentacles, and other appendages. Insert dick joke. Though it lacks the control to truly polymorph into another creature's shape and hold it. They come in with an armor class of 18 and somewhere in that 387 to 4 something hit point range. Their speed is 50 feet, so they're quick. They can climb at 30 feet and swim at 30 feet. Now a Shoggoth doesn't need oxygen to live. It can exist with equal comfort at the bottom of the ocean or in the vacuum of outer space, which is terrifying. They absorb flesh. The body of a creature that dies while grappled by a Shoggoth is completely absorbed into the Shoggoth's mass. No portion of it remains to be used in Raise Dead, Reincarnate, and comparable spells that require touching the dead person's body. That can be a bitch. A Shoggoth can move through a space as small as 1 foot wide. It must spend 1 extra foot of movement for every foot it moves through a space smaller than itself, but it isn't subject to any penalties for squeezing. No penalties for squeezing. The fluting noises made by a Shoggoth are otherworldly and mind-shattering. A creature that can hear this cacophony at the start of its turn and is within 120 feet of the Shoggoth must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be confused, as the spell confusion, for 1d4 rounds. Creatures that roll a natural 20 on the saving throw become immune to the hideous piping for 24 hours. Otherwise, characters who meet the conditions must repeat the saving throw every round. They have keen senses. A Shoggoth has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on hearing or smell. And a rolling charge. If the Shoggoth moves at least 20 feet straight towards a creature and hits it with a slam attack, on the same turn, the creature must succeed on a DC 20 saving throw. That would be dexterity. Or be knocked prone. And that can suck with that thing barreling down on you. If the creature is knocked prone, and the Shoggoth immediately moves into the creature's space as a bonus action and crushes the creature beneath its bulk. The crushed creature can't breathe, is restrained, and takes 2d10 bludgeoning damage at the start of each of the Shoggoth's turns. A crushed creature remains in its space and does not move with the Shoggoth. A crushed creature can escape by using an action or making a successful DC 19 strength check. On a success, the creature crawls into an empty space within 5 feet of the Shoggoth. Now, its actions are obviously the multi-attack, and the multi-attack, it makes 1d4 plus 1 slam attacks. Reroll the number of attacks at the start of each of the Shoggoth's turns, and it makes a slam melee weapon attack at plus 14 in a 15-foot reach. That is terrifying. So that sums up our Shoggoth in D&D. A little of the Lovecraftian ecology on it. Thanks for checking in with us today. If you made it this far, hit that like and sub buttons. And until then, stay frosty and aware, beautiful people, and question everything. Thank you. Thank you very much.